Hello again, students. This is your flipped grammar lesson for Storytown Lesson 28. The topic of our lesson this week is adverbs. For this activity, you will need your Whisk worksheet and a pen or a pencil. Once you've got your Whisk worksheet ready, next to Unit of Study, please write adverbs. Then, in the W section, write down where and when you watched this video. Let's get started and ready to write a 5-sentence summary in the S section. Here are the notes for this week's lesson. What is an adverb? Well, the definition of an adverb is here. An adverb is a word that modifies a verb, adjective, or another adverb. If you're not sure whether a word in a sentence is an adverb, look and see which of the questions it answers. If it answers one of these questions on the screen, it is acting as an adverb in the sentence. Adverbs answer how, when, where, how often, how much, and to what extent. Some adverbs end with the suffix ly, and a lot of the time you can tell an adverb because of that very common suffix ending. However, look at the wordle on this screen. All of these words are also used as adverbs in sentences, and they do not end with ly. So you not only have to look for the suffix, but also the function of the word in the sentence to determine if it's an adverb or not. With this information in mind, let's take a look at a few example sentences. Our theme this week is to do with robots and futuristic things. So let's look at some robots while we are learning about adverbs.
Asimo is a robot that plays soccer. In the sentence, President Obama recently got to meet and play soccer with a robot. The word recently answers the question when.
Some robots are trained to enter dangerous places and put out fires, like this robot, Safer. In the sentence, Navy sailors train with Safer daily. The adverb is daily, and it answers the question, how often?
This is Charlie, a robotic chimp that can be used on unmanned missions to the moon. In the sentence, Charlie looks everywhere for the samples the astronauts want to study. Everywhere is an adverb that answers the question, where.
This is Shimon, the musical robot. In the sentence, the robot plays various instruments very skillfully. There are two adverbs. Very answers the question, to what extent. Skillfully answers the question, how.
One thing that students often confuse is the difference between an adverb or an adjective. So let's take a look at this slide and try to see if we can figure out the difference between the two. On the left, we have a recap of what is an adverb. Remember that adverbs describe or modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. And they answer several questions, such as how, when, where, how often, how much, and to what extent. On the other hand, adjectives describe or modify nouns. If you want to learn more about adjectives, and you can't remember some of the things that we studied so far this year, you can review Lesson 16 to find out more about adjectives. Adjectives not only modify nouns, but they also answer the questions, what kind, which one, and how many and how much. So this is the difference between an adverb and an adjective. If you need another example of how to find an adverb or an adjective, we can use the strategy of sentence diagramming. Let's take a look at how this is done. Not only can you tell whether a word is an adverb or an adjective by answering one of the questions on our list, but you can also use your sentence diagramming strategy in order to figure out the part of speech for a word. So let's take a look at our sentence, the lion roared loudly. Just like always, when we are diagramming a sentence, we start by finding the subject and the verb. So it's pretty easy in this sentence that the lion is the subject, which goes over here. Roared is our verb, which goes on the right side of the line. Now, the is referring to lion. And so it's acting like an adjective because our articles a, an, and the are always adjectives. Let's draw the on a diagonal line under lion. And next, the word loudly is telling me how the lion roared. And so we would put loudly under the verb. Any word that is drawn under the verb on a diagram is an adverb. So that's one way to know. Let's look at a little bit of a trickier example. Next, we have a sentence that uses the word fast. Fast can be an adjective or an adverb in a sentence, just depending on which of our questions it answers. Does it answer one of the adverb questions or one of the adjective questions? Let's take a look by drawing our diagram. First, we start with our basic diagram. The subject of the sentence, obviously in this one, is car, doing the action. The verb is zoomed. That's a nice, active, and vivid verb, easy to find in the sentence. Now, the words the and fast are both telling me what kind or which one of the cars we're talking about. Maybe there are many cars on the street. So both of these words come down off of the word car. Because the word car is a noun and it's answering one of our adjective questions, we know that the word fast is acting like an adjective in this sentence. Now, we have the prepositional phrase down our street. This is answering, as a phrase, the question where. So we know this is going to be an adverb prepositional phrase. We will draw our diagonal line with a horizontal line that shows a prepositional phrase. The preposition goes on the diagonal line. Object of the preposition is the street. Our possessive pronouns act like adjectives in a sentence. And now we have the word fast acting as an adjective, modifying a noun and answering an adjective question. The phrase down our street answering an adverb question, where, and going underneath the verb. So this is an adverb and these are adjectives. Here's another example that uses the same word fast in the sentence. He finished the assignment very fast. Is fast being used as an adjective or an adverb in the sentence? Well, which question is it answering? In this sentence, we can help answer that question by drawing the diagram. So, the subject of this sentence is another easy one, the pronoun he. Next, what is the action? We have finished. We're going to reach way back to some of the things we learned about diagramming earlier in the year by asking finished what in order to find the direct object. Well, he finished the assignment, so I'm going to put assignment in the direct object spot. Remember that direct objects are always nouns, which is a person, place, thing, or idea. Sure enough, assignment is a thing. Now, we have our article adjective, the, which comes down under assignment because it's telling, which one of the assignments are we talking about? Now we have the words very and fast. Whoa. Fast is telling me how he finished it. Because it's answering the question how, I know I need to draw it under my verb because it's going along with my adverb questions. So, fast comes down underneath the verb finished. Here's the tricky thing. We also have another adverb, very. Very is always an adverb when it's used in a sentence. Remember that adverbs can not only modify verbs, but also other adjectives. So we are going to draw another line under this adjective fast to put our other adjective very. This word very is answering our adverb question, to what extent. So by using these diagrams, I can tell all of the words under the verb are adverbs, all of the words under the noun are adjectives. any words coming off of an adjective are also adverbs. I hope you've learned about adverbs and how to differentiate them from adjectives during this lesson. On the back of your whisk worksheet, try to diagram your own sentence that uses an adverb. Then, in the S section, write a 5-sentence summary of what you learned from the video. Finally, in the Q section, write a question you might have about something you did not understand in the video. As always, if you have no questions, then create a test question. Make sure you have your assignment completed on time and turned in by the due date, and we'll see you next week.